Hi folks, it's Calc here, and today I'm in Stockholm with our friends at Algam Nordic, and I'm going to do something that's a little bit more interesting with the Novation Summit synthesizer. I'm going to use it as an effects processor for an external sampler. Now, the Summit, of course, is a really great synthesizer with 16 voices, but also a really nice feature that it has is the ability to let audio pass through the synthesizer engine. So we're going to explore a little way of using it as an effects processor. But in order to do that, I'm going to create a beat, and I'm actually going to use the Launchpad Pro as a sequencer for this little sampler box here, the Beat Squeezer. Now, the Launchpad Pro is completely in a standalone mode. I'm not using it with Ableton or anything like that. I'm using the internal sequencer here to create the drum beat. So let's start off. I'm going to just put this little sound down here really as a metronome. So now I've just put this little click track there as a metronome, and I'm going to go down and find a nice kick drum. Okay, so I've got a nice kick there, and when I'm happy to, I'll just hit record, and then I'll just start to record in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's add a snare to that as well. Already we've got the sounds running nicely. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go to a custom mode here in the Launchpad, and I'm just going to change the sound up a little bit. Just tighten it up a little bit. I've just brought the decay value down in the Beat Squeezer using a custom mode. So let's now stop the sequencer. We have our beat running, that's fine. That's currently just coming out of the Beat Squeezer into this mixer. So I'm going to unplug it now, and I'm going to plug it directly into the audio inputs on the back of Summit. Now you'll notice when I hit play here, we get no sound, and that's because on the Summit, we need to set it up to pass the audio through. So if I go to my voice menu here, you'll see I have this option to choose where the audio is coming in. And now I can go pre-filter or post-filter. If we go pre-filter, it means I can use the analog filters in the Summit synth to also control and shape the sound. Now, if I hit play again, you'll again notice we have no sound coming, and that's because the amplifier is actually closed here on the Summit. So what I need to do is to send a trigger, and I'm just going to hold that key wide open now. So now when I hit play, you can hear the sound from the Beat Squeezer is now passing into the Summit. So if I just turn this up a bit, we should be able to hear I can use the filter. I can of course use some LFO to shape that sound. So I'm now sending the drums through this analog filter and using some modulation to shape that sound. And of course I also have access to my wonderful reverbs and delays. I also have 3 really great analog distortions, so let's add a bit of extra distortion to the sound. So you can see we can do some really quite intense processing of audio signals using this. Now, I'm going to just stop for a moment and just think about this switch that we have on the Summit as well. This is the envelope loop switch, and this is a really nice feature to have. When I switch the loop on, it means that this envelope will constantly re-loop itself when it reaches the end of its decay stage. So let's just bring all those faders down and put a bit of decay on. I'll need to re-trigger that envelope, so we'll just hit re-trigger there. Yep, and now we can hear the decay is actually having an effect on the sound as well. So now we're actually going into the realms of amplitude modulation here. We're using a very high rate of control over the amplifier. So we can get some really interesting effects using the looping envelopes, especially on the amplifier there, to add extra sound and affect the sound. that's a quick look at how you can use the Summit not only just as a really strong synthesizer in its own right, but equally as a really powerful effects processor for any of your other instruments, synthesizers, vocals, drum loops, whatever you want to do. We created a quick sequence with a Launchpad Pro, sent that through to this little sampler, and then of course processed the audio through the Summit afterwards. So I hope that was interesting. That's quite an unusual little tip and trick that you can use the Summit for, but thanks very much indeed for watching.